Ladies and gentlemen, I want you to take a deep breath and allow yourself to step into a realm where your thoughts are your most powerful allies. Everything in your life, your wealth, your opportunities, your happiness, begins not in the world outside, but in the world within. The rich do not simply accumulate money by chance or luck, they cultivate an inner landscape of belief, expectancy, and clarity. The way they think, the way they speak, the way they imagine, it is unlike the common mind that drifts in doubt, fear, and limitation. Today we begin the journey to think as they do, to align our consciousness with the abundance that is our divine right. Consider for a moment that your mind is a garden. Whatever you plant, you will harvest. Thoughts of fear and scarcity bring forth struggle. Thoughts of faith and prosperity bring forth blessing. The rich are gardeners of the mind. They do not entertain doubts. They do not allow the weeds of worry to choke the seeds of opportunity. Every idea they embrace, every decision they make, is a seed sown with purpose. You too can sow these seeds. You too can cultivate thoughts of wealth and success. But you must begin now, in this moment, and speak only the words that affirm your victory. The universe, ever responsive, obeys the commands of your consciousness. Riches are not merely physical, they are the reflection of your mental state. When the rich desire something, they do not argue with the how of its coming. They claim it, knowing that the pathway will appear. They see themselves already in possession of the fortune, the business, the opportunity, or the freedom they seek. Your own imagination is a mirror, it reflects back what you hold within. If you see lack, you will attract lack. If you see plenty, your life will unfold with plenty. There is a certain joy, a certain expectancy, that is the signature of the prosperous mind, and it is a joy you may embrace this very day. Notice how they act. Notice how they speak. They speak in terms of abundance, not limitation. They expect the good, and they are patient in the unseen. Every setback is merely a stepping stone, every challenge a hidden blessing, and every failure a message guiding them to a wiser choice. They do not allow fear to guide them, they do not consult with pessimism. Their minds are attuned to the great invisible currents of opportunity, and they move with certainty and grace. You are standing at the threshold of your own abundance. The way to enter is simple, yet profound. Think differently, speak differently, and see differently. Let go of old patterns that bind you to struggle. Release the inner dialogues that whisper, I cannot, I am not ready, or this is impossible. Replace them with a bold, confident knowing, I am ready, I am worthy. I attract wealth easily and naturally. The rich do not postpone their joy, their confidence, or their power. Neither must you. Every human being carries within them a remarkable power, a power so great that it shapes the very circumstances of life. That power is the mind and the thoughts that flow through it. It is not merely a tool for reasoning or remembering, it is a creative force, constantly forming the world around you in subtle yet profound ways. The universe responds, without fail, to the dominant thoughts you harbor, whether they are spoken aloud or held quietly within your consciousness. The rich understand this principle intuitively. They know that before a fortune can appear in the physical world, it must first be conceived, nurtured, and maintained in the mind. They do not wait for opportunity to knock, they invite it, they imagine it, and they give it form through unbroken faith and expectation. Consider for a moment that every idea you think is a seed. If you plant a seed of doubt, hesitation, or lack, you will see those elements grow and multiply in your life. Conversely, if you plant the seeds of confidence, vision, and prosperity, they will flourish beyond your imagining. The mind does not discriminate between what is real and what is imagined. It acts upon the substance of thought, giving energy, form, and direction to whatever dominates your consciousness. That is why the rich spend time cultivating their inner world. They guard their thoughts as a precious garden, allowing only those ideas that serve their highest good to take root. You may see the world as full of scarcity and competition, but the rich see it as a field of infinite possibilities, because their thoughts are aligned with that truth. There is a principle at work here that is constant, immutable, and universal. It is not affected by skepticism, circumstance, or external opinion. Thoughts are not idle, they are forces. They radiate from the mind like invisible currents, drawing experiences, people, and opportunities into your life. The poor, or those who struggle financially, often fail to recognize this law. They dwell on limitations, rehearsing failures, imagining obstacles, and giving energy to fear. Each moment spent in doubt is a moment spent drawing to themselves exactly what they do not desire. The rich, in contrast, turn their attention to abundance, to ideas of success, to images of themselves living in freedom, joy, and prosperity. They understand that thought is not passive, it is the blueprint from which the outer world is constructed. You may ask how this principle operates in practical terms. It begins with conscious attention. The rich do not allow their minds to wander unchecked, drifting into worry, comparison, or envy. They discipline their thoughts, choosing what to focus upon, and in doing so, they determine the flow of their life. A single sustained idea, carefully nurtured, has the power to create miracles. The seed of a new business, a profitable investment, or an inspired creation all begins first as a mental image. When that image is held with faith and clarity, the universe arranges circumstances, people, and events to bring it into reality. There is no randomness in true prosperity. It is the direct manifestation of thought that has been aligned with purpose. It is essential to understand that the mind cannot hold two contradictory ideas at once without confusion. To think, I want wealth, but I am not capable, is to plant a seed of futility. The rich know this, and so they practice unbroken affirmation of their worth, their ability, and their right to receive. They speak with certainty about their success, even when the physical evidence is not yet visible. By doing so, they impress upon their subconscious mind a law of certainty that moves the unseen forces into alignment with their desire. Your own mind works the same way. The thoughts you repeat, the images you dwell upon, the words you speak to yourself, all of these create a magnetic force, attracting experiences in perfect harmony with your inner state. Every obstacle you perceive, every limitation you feel, is first and foremost a reflection of thought. Poverty, failure, or lack of opportunity cannot exist outside the mind. They are born of repeated mental patterns that accept limitation as fact. To change your life, you must first change your thought. Begin by observing your mind as if it were a garden. Note what grows there naturally. Is it weeds of worry, fear, or resentment? Or is it flowers of hope, ideas, and expectancy? Remove the thoughts that do not serve you, consciously replacing them with ideas of abundance. Speak to yourself daily of prosperity, capability, and opportunity. Visualize in vivid detail the life you desire. Feel it, see it, believe it, and the unseen world will move to make it tangible. The richness of life is not found in external circumstances, it is reflected inwardly first. Those who live in poverty of mind, who dwell in doubt and fear, find that the outer world mirrors their inner state. Those who live in abundance of mind, who dwell in vision and faith, discover that the outer world is equally abundant. Thoughts are seeds, circumstances are the harvest. Nothing comes from the outside until it is first conceived within. The rich understand that there is no substitute for this inner work. They know that all material wealth is merely a manifestation of mental wealth, and all external success is preceded by a rich, fertile, disciplined mind. To begin thinking like the prosperous, start with a clear declaration that your mind is your creative instrument and that you choose what it shall produce. Guard it carefully, speak only words of assurance, and imagine continuously the life you intend to live. With patience, focus, and unwavering faith, the currents of the universe will respond, bringing into form the wealth that has first been formed in your mind. There is no failure in this law, only those who have yet to recognize it, and those who begin to do so are already on the path to the fulfillment of their dreams. Expectancy is the silent language through which the universe communicates with us. It is more than hope, more than wishing. It is the firm and confident belief that the good we desire is not only possible, but inevitable. The rich understand this principle fully. They do not approach life with hesitation or uncertainty. nor do they question whether their desires will manifest. They carry within them a quiet, unwavering expectancy, a knowing that the unseen forces of the universe are always ready to serve those who believe in abundance. To expect is to command the invisible, to align oneself with the infinite supply that exists for every human being. It is a vibration, a state of mind, and a magnet that draws opportunity, wealth, and success to its center. Every day, each of us sends out a current of thought, a subtle message of what we anticipate. If we anticipate lack, frustration, or disappointment, the universe responds in kind, presenting circumstances that reflect our inner expectation. Conversely, if we anticipate abundance, joy, and triumph, the universe moves to provide these very experiences. The rich do not leave this principle to chance, they practice it with conscious intention. Their thoughts are disciplined, their minds focused on the good they wish to receive. They visualize their desires with vivid clarity, feeling the success and satisfaction as if it already exists. Through this expectancy, they create a magnetic field that draws opportunities and resources into their lives with ease and grace. It is important to recognize that expectancy is not passive. It is not merely wishing for something to happen while remaining idle. It is an active state of mind, a continuous and unwavering alignment with the reality one desires. The rich take deliberate steps to strengthen this expectancy. They speak affirmations that reinforce their belief. They meditate on the outcomes they wish to see, and they act in ways that reflect the confidence of one who already possesses. Every action, every word, every thought is harmonized with their expectation, and this harmony resonates through every area of their life. By expecting the best, they invite the best, and the universe conspires to fulfill their inner vision. Expectancy also requires faith, for it asks the mind to remain steadfast even when the external world seems uncertain. The rich do not allow temporary setbacks, delays, or obstacles to diminish their belief. They know that visible evidence is not necessary for manifestation. What is necessary is the unwavering certainty that the desired outcome is already in motion. When doubt creeps in, they gently redirect their focus back to the positive, trusting that the law of expectancy will accomplish its work. This faith transforms the ordinary into the extraordinary, the possible into the inevitable, and it allows abundance to flow without struggle or effort. It is a quiet power, a source of strength that the materially wealthy and spiritually rich alike understand instinctively. Every thought, every image, and every spoken word strengthens or weakens this expectancy. To anticipate problems, to dwell on lack, to rehearse fears, is to create obstacles and limitations. The rich, however, train themselves to anticipate success, prosperity, and opportunity. They create mental pictures of wealth, health, and happiness, holding them with unwavering focus. They imagine the satisfaction of completing a goal, the freedom of financial independence, and the joy of abundance in every area of life. This expectancy is not a dream, it is a firm and living conviction that what they desire is already on its way. By expecting, they are not merely passive, they are activating a law that brings invisible forces into alignment with their vision. The principle of expectancy also extends to interactions with others and with circumstances. When one expects good from people, situations, and the world, one attracts good. When one expects difficulty, resistance, or limitation, one likewise draws these experiences. The rich recognize that their mental stance communicates to the universe, setting in motion the invisible currents that create their reality. They anticipate success in every venture. They expect cooperation and opportunity in every encounter, and they move with the confidence of one who is certain of a favorable outcome. This expectation, more than any calculation, plan, or strategy, is what creates extraordinary results. It is essential to cultivate expectancy as a daily practice. Begin each day by affirming your confidence in the unseen, by visualizing the fulfillment of your desires, and by holding a firm belief that abundance is your natural state. Speak words of assurance, refuse to entertain thoughts of limitation, and act as though your goals are already achieved. In doing so, you send a powerful message to the universe, one that aligns every circumstance, every opportunity, and every person you encounter with the fulfillment of your vision. The rich understand that this is not a secret reserved for a few. It is a universal law available to all who choose to embrace it. Expectancy transforms the ordinary mind into a magnet for the extraordinary. It elevates thoughts, purifies motives, and draws abundance effortlessly. The rich do not chase or struggle, they expect. In that expectancy they find the rhythm of life itself, the harmonious flow that carries them to greater prosperity, joy, and freedom. Every act of expectancy strengthens the invisible bridge between desire and manifestation, between thought and form, between vision and reality. Words are the instruments through which thought takes form. They are not merely sounds or symbols, they are the vehicles of creation, the channels through which the unseen becomes visible. The rich understand this principle intuitively. They recognize that speech is a declaration to the universe, a public and private announcement of what they accept as reality. To speak in terms of limitation, fear, or lack is to invite more of the same into one's life. To speak in terms of plenty, abundance, and opportunity is to call forth the very prosperity one desires. Every word spoken with conviction, whether aloud or silently, carries an invisible weight that shapes circumstances, attracts resources, and creates outcomes. Notice how the rich speak. They do not complain about difficulties, dwell on scarcity, or rehearse the problems that surround them. Their words are carefully chosen, measured, and aligned with their vision of abundance. They affirm success, acknowledge opportunity, and express gratitude for the wealth that flows into their lives. Their speech is a mirror of their inner state, and because it is aligned with expectation and faith, it multiplies their prosperity. Words are never neutral. They either build or destroy, elevate or diminish. To speak in terms of plenty is to construct a bridge from desire to manifestation, a bridge that carries the invisible substance of thought into visible form. When one begins to speak in terms of plenty, a transformation occurs within the mind itself. Thoughts that were previously scattered or uncertain become focused, coherent, and purposeful. Every affirmation, every positive declaration strengthens the subconscious mind, which is the silent partner in creation. The subconscious does not argue, it does not question, it merely obeys the dominant command it receives. When you consistently speak of abundance, it rearranges your mental and emotional patterns to support that abundance. Opportunities that were once overlooked become visible. People who can assist you appear. Ideas that lead to wealth, solutions to challenges, and pathways to success unfold with surprising ease. The power of speech is magnified when combined with expectancy and visualization. When you speak as though your desires are already realized, you impress upon the invisible a certainty that demands fulfillment. The rich do not say, "I hope to be successful," or "I wish I had more resources." Such words carry the vibration of doubt, hesitation, and lack. Instead, they declare, "I am prosperous, I am capable, I am in possession of every resource I need." In doing so, they are not merely affirming a wish, they are issuing a command to the universe, activating forces that align circumstances with their spoken word. It is equally important to avoid negative speech. Complaints, excuses, and expressions of limitation reinforce scarcity. When one says, "I cannot afford this," "there is never enough," or "it is impossible," these words plant seeds of poverty in the subconscious mind and attract conditions that mirror those statements. The rich are careful to cleanse their language, both internal and external, replacing words of limitation with words of faith, gratitude, and expectancy. They understand that every statement of abundance, no matter how small, is an act of creation. It is a declaration of confidence, a step toward manifestation, and an invitation for the universe to respond in kind. Gratitude is a crucial aspect of speaking in terms of plenty. To acknowledge the blessings already present, to speak appreciation for opportunities, relationships, and resources, multiplies their effect. The rich give voice to gratitude daily, recognizing that the spoken acknowledgement of abundance attracts more to be grateful for. Words of appreciation not only reinforce the inner state of abundance, but also magnetize external prosperity. Every thank you is an affirmation of plenty, a reinforcement of belief, and a vibration that calls forth more of the same. Speaking in terms of plenty is also reflected in self-talk. How you address yourself, the thoughts you voice about your abilities, potential, and worth, shapes the very circumstances you encounter. The rich speak kindly and confidently to themselves, acknowledging their strengths, their capacity to create, and their deservingness of success. They do not diminish themselves with words of fear or limitation. Instead, they cultivate a rich inner dialogue that mirrors the abundance they seek. Every thought and word aligns with the truth that they are capable, worthy, and entitled to the prosperity of life. It is essential to practice conscious speech daily. Begin each morning by affirming abundance, declare your success, anticipate opportunities, and express gratitude for the wealth already present in your life. Throughout the day, monitor your words carefully, correcting statements that reflect fear, limitation, or doubt. Replace them immediately with words of faith, expectancy, and plenty. Speak of solutions, speak of possibilities, and speak of achievement. In conversations, focus on the positive outcomes, the resources at hand, and the opportunities ahead. Each word spoken in alignment with abundance reinforces the mental state that attracts wealth, prosperity, and joy. To speak in terms of plenty is not merely a technique, it is a way of life. It transforms ordinary communication into a powerful tool for creation. It trains the mind to focus on the positive, aligns the subconscious with your desires, and draws the unseen forces of the universe into cooperative action. The rich understand this principle as a natural law. They are careful with words, deliberate in expression, and consistent in affirmation. Every sentence they speak carries a vibration of abundance, calling forth the reality they have envisioned. Through speech, thought, and expectation, they live in a world where plenty is not an exception but the natural order, and where prosperity flows effortlessly to those who align themselves with this truth. Fear and limitation are the greatest thieves of human potential. They whisper in the mind, quietly undermining confidence, sapping energy, and constraining vision. The rich understand that fear is not reality, it is a mental construct, a barrier erected by the imagination to keep one small, cautious, and constrained. To achieve abundance, prosperity, and freedom, it is essential first to recognize fear for what it is, then release it completely. Limitation, likewise, is a belief imposed by circumstance, society, or past experience. It is a thought form that says, "This is all that is possible." The rich know that these mental barriers are illusions and that true power comes from a mind unshackled by doubt, worry, or hesitation. Fear thrives on attention. Every thought given to worry, uncertainty, or danger strengthens its presence in the mind and manifests it in the external world. When one dwells on what might go wrong, on what is lacking, or on the obstacles that appear, one sets in motion a chain of events that reflects that inner focus. The rich, however, recognize this law and deliberately refuse to feed fear with thought. Instead, they shift their attention to solutions, to opportunities, and to the assurance that every difficulty carries within it the seed of a blessing. They understand that the moment one releases fear, the unseen forces of the universe can begin to work on one's behalf without obstruction. Limitation is often a subtle form of fear. It may appear as the belief that one lacks talent, time, resources, or knowledge. It may take the shape of societal rules, comparisons with others, or internalized judgments of unworthiness. Whatever form it takes, limitation restricts the mind and prevents the flow of abundance. The rich refuse to accept these imposed boundaries. They do not argue with circumstance, nor do they allow past experiences to dictate future potential. Instead, they declare freedom, possibility, and expansion. By refusing to accept limitation as truth, they create space for new opportunities, new ideas, and new wealth to enter their lives. To release fear and limitation, one must first become aware of the thoughts that perpetuate them. Observe your mind as if it were a garden, noting where worry, doubt, and restriction grow. Once identified, these thoughts must be consciously displaced with ideas of courage, faith, and possibility. The rich do not attempt to force fear into submission through willpower alone. They replace it with a higher thought, an expectation of success and prosperity that leaves no room for limitation. They understand that the mind operates according to what is dominant. What it dwells upon most becomes reality. By choosing to dwell upon freedom, opportunity, and abundance, they dissolve the shadows of fear naturally and effortlessly. Affirmation is a powerful tool in this process. The rich use words not only to declare abundance, but also to release limitation. They say, "I am fearless in the pursuit of my highest good. I am capable of achieving all that I desire. No obstacle can prevent the flow of abundance to me." These statements do not merely soothe anxiety, they impress upon the subconscious mind a law of possibility that begins to unfold externally. Each affirmation strengthens courage, aligns thought with faith, and removes the invisible blockages that fear and limitation create. Repetition is key, for the mind responds to persistent, focused command. Faith, more than reasoning, is the force that sustains the release of fear. The rich trust the unseen. They do not wait for perfect conditions, nor do they wait until all obstacles are removed. They act, they move, and they create from a place of assuredness, knowing that the universal law of abundance responds to courage and conviction. When fear arises, they do not resist it violently. They acknowledge its presence and then turn their attention deliberately to higher thought. Limitation loses its power when one refuses to participate in its narrative, when one consistently affirms that nothing is impossible and that the supply of the universe is infinite. Another element of releasing fear and limitation is gratitude. When the mind is filled with appreciation for the blessings already present, there is no room for worry, doubt, or restriction. The rich cultivate a continuous awareness of the good around them, recognizing opportunities, resources, and successes even in small details. This gratitude strengthens faith, reinforces expectancy, and naturally displaces fear. The subconscious mind cannot dwell on both lack and gratitude at the same time. One automatically replaces the other. By focusing on what is already abundant in life, the rich create a vibration that attracts even more abundance and reinforces a fearless approach to new ventures. Courage is cultivated through action. The rich understand that action, aligned with faith, dissolves fear. Every step taken toward a goal, every decision made with confidence, reinforces the belief in possibility. Fear thrives in stagnation and indecision. It loses its grip when one acts decisively. Limitation, too, is weakened when one moves beyond the boundaries imposed by past experiences or external opinion. By taking inspired action, the mind is strengthened, and the invisible currents of opportunity and abundance are invited to converge with effort. It is also essential to release the need for control. Fear often arises from the desire to dictate every detail of outcome or circumstance. Limitation is reinforced by the belief that external conditions must conform before action can succeed. The rich recognize that the universe responds to thought and faith, not to frantic effort or micromanagement. By releasing control and trusting in the alignment of unseen forces, they open the way for solutions, support, and opportunities that would otherwise remain hidden. This surrender does not indicate passivity. It is an active trust, a conscious decision to align with abundance rather than scarcity, with faith rather than fear. The mind, when freed from fear and limitation, becomes a magnet for prosperity, creativity, and fulfillment. Thoughts flow with clarity, decisions are made with confidence, and opportunities present themselves naturally. The rich cultivate this state continuously, recognizing that fear and limitation are temporary constructs that dissolve under the light of faith, expectancy, and conscious thought. By observing, releasing, affirming, acting, and trusting, they create an inner environment in which abundance is inevitable and where the mind is a fertile ground for the manifestation of every desire. Confidence and purpose are the twin engines of success, the forces that convert thought into tangible reality. To think correctly, to expect abundance, and to speak in terms of plenty are essential steps, yet without confident and purposeful action, these inner states remain dormant, like seeds buried too deeply in the earth. The rich understand that every idea, every vision, every expectation must be accompanied by deliberate action, guided by clarity of intention and unwavering self-assurance. Action is the bridge that connects the invisible to the visible, the thought to the form, and the promise to its fulfillment. Confidence is not mere bravado, nor is it a superficial display of courage. It is a deep, inner knowing, a conviction that one is capable, deserving, and aligned with the universal flow of abundance. The rich cultivate this confidence deliberately. They do not wait for circumstances to confirm their ability. They act first, with the knowledge that the universe supports those who move decisively toward their goals. Confidence transforms hesitation into movement, doubt into opportunity, and fear into energy. Every step taken with assurance reinforces the belief in one's capability, strengthening the mind, body, and spirit for the challenges and blessings ahead. Purpose gives action its direction. It is the clear intention behind every movement, the guiding principle that ensures efforts are not wasted on trivialities or distractions. The rich act with a defined objective, knowing precisely what they wish to achieve and why it matters. Purpose provides focus, aligns energy, and magnetizes the resources necessary for success. Without purpose, action is random, scattered, and often fruitless. With purpose, even the smallest effort becomes powerful, each step carrying the weight of intention that draws circumstances into harmony with desire. Confidence gives the courage to act. Purpose ensures the actions are meaningful and effective. Every action taken by the rich is preceded by thought and aligned with expectation. They do not act impulsively, nor do they move without clarity. Their actions are deliberate extensions of their inner vision, a physical demonstration of their belief in abundance. They prepare, plan, and execute with precision, yet they do so without attachment to the outcome, trusting that the alignment of thought, expectancy, and speech will manifest the desired result. Action, when guided by confidence and purpose, becomes a magnet for opportunity. Doors open that were previously hidden, solutions appear to problems, and support arises from unexpected sources. To act with confidence is also to act in spite of fear. Fear often paralyzes the mind, creating hesitation, doubt, and inaction. The rich recognize that courage is not the absence of fear but the willingness to move forward regardless of it. They acknowledge fear, but they do not dwell on it, allowing it to guide or limit them. Every action taken in alignment with purpose reinforces courage, gradually diminishing the hold of fear and reinforcing the belief in one's ability to overcome obstacles. Through repeated acts of confident movement, the mind is trained to trust itself and the unseen forces that support it. Purpose also requires clarity of intention. The rich know that vague goals yield vague results. To act with purpose is to define precisely what one seeks and to align every thought, word, and action toward that end. The clearer the intention, the stronger the magnetic effect, and the more direct the pathway to manifestation. Purpose prevents distraction, conserves energy, and ensures that efforts are concentrated where they will be most effective. The rich focus on high-priority actions that carry the greatest potential to bring their vision into reality, knowing that purposeful effort compounds over time to produce extraordinary outcomes. Action is most powerful when consistent. The rich understand that repeated, steady movement toward a goal, even in small increments, builds momentum, strengthens belief, and attracts supporting circumstances. Each action taken reinforces expectancy, validates affirmations, and strengthens the subconscious mind's alignment with abundance. In contrast, sporadic, hesitant, or inconsistent efforts send mixed signals, undermining confidence and reducing the effectiveness of thought and speech. Purposeful, confident action creates a rhythm, a flow, that the universe responds to, amplifying results and opening pathways that were previously unseen. The rich also act with faith in the unseen. They do not wait for perfect conditions, for total certainty, or for external validation. They trust that the alignment of thought, expectancy, and speech has set the unseen forces in motion, and they act as the visible instruments through which these forces work. Action without faith becomes mechanical and limited, action with faith becomes inspired, powerful, and magnetic. Each deliberate step is a statement to the universe that you are ready, willing, and capable of receiving the abundance that has been prepared. Another aspect of acting with confidence and purpose is adaptability. The rich understand that circumstances may shift, obstacles may appear, and the pathway to success may take unexpected turns. They remain steadfast in intention but flexible in method, adjusting their actions to respond to new information and opportunities without losing sight of their ultimate goal. This balance between determination and adaptability allows them to move forward without resistance, turning challenges into opportunities and setbacks into guidance. Confidence and purpose are strengthened through reflection and learning. The rich examine the results of their actions, learning from mistakes, refining strategies, and reinforcing what works. Each experience, whether it appears successful or challenging, becomes a lesson that informs future action. By approaching life as a continuous process of growth, they maintain momentum, improve effectiveness, and deepen their trust in the law that aligns thought, expectancy, speech, and action with abundance. Acting with confidence and purpose is also a form of self-respect. It demonstrates a commitment to one's highest vision, an acknowledgement that one is worthy of success, prosperity, and fulfillment. The rich honor their goals by moving decisively, refusing to be swayed by doubt, criticism, or fear. This alignment of thought, speech, expectation, and action creates a powerful force, a momentum that attracts the circumstances, people, and opportunities necessary for the full realization of their desires. Each confident, purposeful action builds upon the last, forming an unstoppable current that carries them toward their highest good.